Hello everyone, my name is Jason and I am an ISFP. You're watching my ISFP journey. Thank you for watching. I do ask that you would please subscribe, and if at the end of this video you found it helpful, useful, entertaining, please give it a like. Also, would you please consider sharing this video or any of my other videos that you've enjoyed with your friends on Facebook? That would be awesome. So in this video, I'm going to talk about why I respect the ESTJ. Now, I'm wearing my Darth Vader shirt here. Something about wearing a Darth Vader shirt on an ESTJ video just seemed right. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's that enforcement of outside rule thing. No, I'm joking. I think ESTJs are pretty cool. And I respect ESTJs. And I want to take this video to explain why. Now, the ESTJ closest to me in my life is my sister-in-law, my wife's oldest sister, and I really do respect her. I respect a lot of things about her, and I respect ESTJs in general. And the first thing that I want to say as to why I think that is because my inferior function is extroverted thinking, and for an ESTJ, their hero function is extroverted thinking. I think I said my inferior function is extroverted thinking. If I said something different, I apologize. Extroverted thinking, inferior, ISFP. ESTJ, extroverted thinking, hero function. Or if you don't like to use that terminology, the primary function, the dominant function, the lead function, the first function, whatever you want to call it. The point is, ESTJs do extroverted thinking like kittens do cute, right? And I've heard it said, and I think it's true, that we, all of us, whatever type we are, we see our inferior function as something that we want to aspire to use well, and we see it as a very valuable function. But we also, if we're being honest with ourselves, know that we're not necessarily like the most adept human beings at using whatever function is our inferior function. So when we see our inferior function being used well in another person, I think that it is natural for us to sort of respect that, to see value in that, to look at that person who is really doing excellently what we stumble at but want to do well. I think it naturally causes us to have a little bit of admiration, respect, maybe even at times stand a little bit in awe of the person who is nailing this function that we're fumbling to get through. So extroverted thinking is, it's pretty task-oriented, it's organized, it's looking at structures in the external world and saying, what does this work or does it not work? And if it doesn't work, what do we need to do to make it work? It's about accomplishment. It's about efficiency. It's about competence. It's about work ethic, getting things done and getting them done well. Now, as an ISFP, maybe, well, this is a little sidetrack here. I'm sorry. Maybe you've watched my video on ISFPs and their art, if you will, but also the extroverted sensing video and the extroverted thinking video that I've done actually. And when you piece all that together, what I like to say about myself, and I think it's true of other ISFPs from the feedback I've gotten, is that we like to do things excellently. Now, I think that we ISFPs, to a large degree, like to do things excellently because we want to leave something beautiful behind. But extroverted thinking likes to do things excellently because it wants to leave something efficient behind. I mean, we ISFPs may want the thing to go great because we want it to be pleasing and beautiful and leave a pleasant feeling for everyone, a great environment. But extroverted thinking wants it to be done well and excellently so that it will work and produce a great accomplishment. And really, the two can go hand in hand. I mean, often when something is done well, and it is efficient and it works and it accomplishes what it was meant to do, It's also very aesthetically pleasing. It's also very beautiful. I mean, if you think about a car, okay? It might have been TI. It might have been someone with great introverted thinking that designed certain aspects of a car. But a lot of times it's going to be, I mean, not always, but it could have well been sensors and extroverted thinkers that made it work and got it put together and got it going, okay? So a car functioning, someone with extroverted thinking might look at a car and go, that is fantastic. I love it because all of the different inner working parts do what they're supposed to do to accomplish this machine that accomplishes a task, right? It moves people from here to there, or it moves stuff from here to there. It gets stuff done. But from an aesthetic standpoint, a car is a beautiful thing. And I don't just mean the body style and the color, although those things are true. But I just mean it adds some sort of flavor to our world that otherwise wouldn't have existed. Now, I'm not saying our world wouldn't be perfectly fine without cars. I'm just saying that a lot of times there are these machines or systems, things that when they are running properly, they both accomplish something, which pleases TE, extroverted thinking, but they can also add a dynamic of beauty or tranquility or peace or joy or betterment to the one who's observing, the one who's using it. Okay, and so there's this sort of pleasing the SE and pleasing the TE all at the same time through efficiency, through getting something accomplished and getting it accomplished in an efficient manner and getting it accomplished well. Now, I think that the extroverted thinking ESTJ, dominant extroverted thinking ESTJ, and the inferior extroverted thinking ISFP, but with a high extroverted sensing, I think that we can both appreciate greatly accomplishment. Maybe for slightly different reasons. But I respect the ESTJ's dedication to accomplishing something, to accomplishing it well. I think personally that many ESTJs are dedicated to excellence, and I believe ISFPs are dedicated to excellence. I do believe that we're dedicated to excellence for different reasons, but at the end of the day, can't we both respect one another for the fact that we're both creating something that is amazing, something that is providing a benefit? And I really think that that's awesome. So I respect ESTJs because they're committed to creating something or to streamlining a process or whatever it may be. And I see the beauty in it, and I think it's awesome. I also respect ESTJs because they're committed to hard work, and I think that's also really wonderful. When I pour my soul into a job, I work it as hard as I can. I want to do the absolute best that I can do, and I will work really hard. Now, again, my reasoning might be somewhat different than the ESTJ's reasoning, but again, we both I think look at laziness as something extremely unpleasant. I think that we both want people to be competent in what they do. I think that we both love efficiency, but not necessarily exactly in the same way or for the same reason. But I really think an ESTJ ISFP partnership in trying to get things done could be a beautiful thing. Because I think the ESTJ will be able to best see how to make the system go forward, whereas the ISFP can add a sense of style to it, if you will, making it pleasing, making it beautiful. And so I respect ESTJs because they're committed to accomplishing things. I respect ESTJs because they're committed to excellence and because largely they won't tolerate anything less. I personally think that's fantastic. You know, I talk about in my TE video, my extroverted thinking video, about my TE rage, where I see people not committed to doing things well, and I sort of get a little about it. And I really just sometimes I just want to lash out, honestly. And I want to say, why are you not committed to doing this well? And I think an ESTJ can appreciate that, even if it is for a different reason. I still think that we can appreciate it. And by the way, I don't think that everything is for a different reason. Many things I think are, or maybe a different primary reason, but I think our motivations can at least overlap to a degree because we ISFPs have extroverted thinking as well. We just don't have it, in the top 2 or 3 of our function stack, right? It's inferior. I respect extroverted thinking because I know that this world needs extroverted thinking to get things done. And I want to be better at it. So what I see in the ESTJ is the embodiment of what I know is a great value to humanity in general. Now, we share that extroverted thinking, though, for them it's hero, for us ISFPs it's inferior. And we share introverted feeling, but I'm not really going to comment on that because I'm really focused on the ESTJ, and that's very low on them, so you're not going to see it show up as much, okay? But what we don't share is that they have that introverted sensing second, and they have that extroverted intuition third, and we have extroverted sensing second and introverted intuition third. So we don't have that in common at all. But if you watch my video on introverted sensing in the ISFP, I made this statement. I said, sometimes when I don't have a great concern or care for traditions or for keeping up the valued, time-honored practices of the generations that have gone before, sometimes I actually feel rather critical of myself, thinking, I see that in other people and I value it to some extent in other people. Like I see how committed they are to these things and I think, I like that and I kind of wish I had that. And I see that in the ESTJ. Now, I'll admit there are going to be times when I'm going to listen to the way that an ESTJ sort of, thinks about that and says, no, these things must be done this way because that's the way it's always been done, or because that's the tradition, or this is the right thing, or whatever. And there are times when I'm going to go, no, I can't go there with you. You are, you're causing the hair on the back of my neck to stand up in a bad way. I'm not tracking with you. But there are other times when I can really respect the fact that an ESTJ has these time-honored traditions that they believe in and will stand up for them. I mean, let's face it, ISFPs, we have introverted feeling as our hero function. Now, if introverted feeling knows anything, it knows how to decide that it believes something and stand up for it. So while it may not be the time-honored traditions that have been handed down to us from past generations that we ISFPs tend to stand for and stand firm for and fight for, but nevertheless, I think that we can respect the ESTJ's commitment to standing firm for something that they have decided that they believe to be of great value. And I think that's also pretty cool. And by the way, they do have introverted feeling. It's their inferior function. ESTJs have it. So, I mean, they also have that within them to sort of make that value judgment without being too influenced or affected, or really very influenced or affected at all by the group, coming in on them and telling them, you should honor these time-honored, traditions because we say so. Or maybe another group saying, why do you even care about these things? They don't matter, right? The ESTJ is not likely to be overly swayed by either one because they are largely still, even though it's their inferior function, going to make those value judgments on their own. And they value these, I know I keep using it, so I'm having trouble coming up with other words, but these time-honored traditions of the past. And sometimes these traditions, sometimes these ways that our forefathers, let's say, did things are good. And sometimes there is great value in them. And sometimes we could learn to care more about what has been handed down to us by others and see the value in it and honor it and respect it. So I respect the ESTJ because there is a part of me that wishes I cared more about those things. I tend not to care about those things, I'll admit. But when I see the ESTJ's commitment to them, I think that's pretty cool. I will also say that I think SI shows up in the ESTJ in a way where I think they do care quite a bit about their environment. I mean, the way they structure the physical things around them. And as an ISFP, I can always appreciate that. It may, again, our motives may be different. The ESTJ's motive and the ISFP's motive may be different, but I do think that we're both pretty committed to structuring our environments to be pleasant for different reasons, perhaps, but nonetheless, when I go into my sister-in-law's house, my ESTJ sister-in-law's house, I feel comfortable. It's a pleasant environment. She keeps her home pleasant, and I like it. And I like being around her. I think she's a really cool person. I probably know other ESTJs as well, but I don't know them as well as I know my sister-in-law. So this is a little bit of a kudos and a shout out to her. I probably haven't told her face to face that I appreciate her and that I respect her, but I don't know if she'll ever watch any of these videos. But if you do, I just want you to know I respect you and I appreciate you. I think you're pretty awesome. So those are my thoughts on the ESTJ. I know that I've focused primarily just on a couple of things, but the reason that I'm doing these videos, like I did one on why I admire the ISTP, this is my second one, why I respect the ESTJ. And really my goal is not to look at the things about them that I think are different or that I don't like. It's not to just give an overview of the personality type, like here's everything that I know about ESTJs. No, what I'm really wanting to do was just, what I really wanted to do in this video was just to focus on the aspects of the ESTJ that I truly respect, because I have to say that I respect the ESTJ. Let me know what you think. If you're an ISFP and you have ESTJs in your life, let me know how you feel about them. Do you respect them? Do you have the same opinions? If you're an ESTJ and you're watching this, I don't know, give me your comments, whatever your comments might be. I really want you guys to comment, whoever you are, why ever you're watching this. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I've got a lot of new subscribers lately, so thank you, all of you guys who have hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching this video and you have not subscribed yet, would you please do that? Because that would really mean the world to me. Thank you so much and have an awesome day. Bye now.